World Cup final ended in a tie. Then the Super Over tied too. And still, someone had to lose. I'll show you how cricket's greatest night was decided by counting fours, a deflected bat, and one umpire's decision that historians still argue about today. Lord's, July 14, 2019. The home of cricket, drenched in nervous English sunlight, was about to witness the most extraordinary final in the history of any World Cup. New Zealand versus England. Two teams that had never lifted the trophy. Two captains, Ewan Morgan and Kane Williamson, walking out for a coin toss that neither of them could have imagined would end the way it did. New Zealand won the toss and chose to bat. And for 50 overs, they played the kind of cricket that defined them. Patient, disciplined, quietly ruthless. Henry Nicholls made 55. Tom Latham held the innings together with 47. But it was Williamson's 30 off 53 balls that told the truer story, a captain absorbing pressure, refusing to gamble. They finished on 241 for 8. In a modern one-day final, that number looked fragile. On this pitch, on this day, it would become a fortress. England began their chase and immediately hit turbulence. Jason Roy fell for 17. Joe Root, the tournament's most reliable batsman, was strangled for just 7. Then Johnny Bairstow, then Morgan himself, gone for 9, caught by Lockie Ferguson sprinting backwards at mid-wicket. England were 86 for 4 and Lords fell into a silence that felt almost medical. This wasn't a chase anymore. This was a rescue mission. Enter Ben Stokes, and with him, a young wicket-keeper named Jos Buttler. What followed was 110 runs of controlled terror. Every single was celebrated. Every boundary felt stolen. Stokes anchored, Buttler counterpunched, and slowly, painfully, England crawled back into the match. When Buttler finally fell for 59, England still needed 46 from 31 balls. Stokes was left with the tail. And then came the sequence that will be replayed for as long as cricket is watched. 15 runs needed from the final over. Trent Boult, one of the most composed left-arm quicks in the world, marked his run, dot ball, dot ball. Then Stokes launched a 6-over mid-wicket, 9 needed from 3. He drove into the leg side, sprinted, dived for the second run, and the throw from Martin Guptill deflected off his outstretched bat and raced away to the boundary. 6 runs. Awarded. 3 from 2. But here's the controversy that still burns. Under Law 19.8, the batsmen had not yet crossed for their second run when Guptill released the ball. Cricket's own laws, as later analyzed by former umpire Simon Taufel, suggested England should have received 5 runs, not 6. 1 run gone. On such margins, empires fall. Stokes himself apologized to Williamson. It didn't matter. The scoreboard held 2 balls left, 2 run-outs. Adil Rashid sacrificed. Mark Wood sacrificed. The scores were level, 241 all. For the first time in World Cup history, a final would be decided by a super over. 6 balls each, Stoke Buttler and Buttler for England. They scraped 15. Then New Zealand, Guptill and Jimmy Neesham facing Jofra Archer, a 24-year-old fast bowler in only his first year of international cricket. Neesham smashed a 6 that seemed to end everything. 2 needed from 1 ball. Guptill drove, ran, and Jason Roy's throw reached Buttler at the stumps. Guptill dived, short, run out. The super over was tied, and this is where the ICC rulebook did something almost cruel. Because in the event of a tied super over, the trophy would be awarded to the team that had hit more boundaries across the entire match. England, 26. New Zealand, 17. England were world champions, by a boundary count. Not runs, not wickets, not a decisive moment of skill, by counting 4s and 6s like a child toting up marbles. Kane Williamson, in the post-match press conference, smiled the emptiest smile in sport and said only that he hoped the rule would be looked at. He was too dignified to say more. He didn't need to. Within 4 months, the ICC quietly abolished the boundary count tiebreaker. From then on, tied super overs would be followed by another super over and another until a winner emerged organically. The rule that decided the greatest final ever played was erased from the sport, as if the game itself was ashamed. But consider what happened that afternoon. A team from a nation of 5 million people played 100 overs of near-perfect cricket, batted 2 super over balls without losing a wicket, and lost a World Cup because their opponents had hit 9 more boundaries. New Zealand didn't lose the match. They ran out of tiebreakers. And Ben Stokes, the man of the match, later admitted he would apologize to Guptill for the rest of his life about the deflected overthrow. Trent Boult had one foot on the boundary rope when he caught Stokes earlier in the innings, meaning the catch became a 6. Inches, millimeters, fortune stacking itself on one side of the scale. England lifted the trophy they had chased for 44 years. The photograph of Morgan holding it aloft is iconic, but beside it, another image endures. Kane Williamson walking off the field, hands in pockets, the quietest broken man in cricket. Ross Taylor, who had spent 16 years in international cricket, sat in the dressing room and could not speak. Was it fair? Was it cricket? The laws said yes. The spirit of the game whispered something else. And every player who was on that field will tell you without hesitation that no World Cup should ever be decided that way again. It never has been since. It never will be. Which means the 2019 final stands alone forever as the match that changed its own rulebook. If this story moved you, subscribe to Cricket Chronicles. We tell the stories behind the scoreboard, the legends behind the numbers, and the moments that made this beautiful, unfair, unforgettable game.